Good morning, and I say good morning, it just depends on where you are, but I'm just going live this morning here at my home, Saturday morning now, and for those of you that do not know me, I've been involved in network marketing for 40 years, and I chose this title based on some of the questions that's being asked, because we're going to do a Q&A this morning, and I'm going to do my best to try to give some value out there, so I hope you can join us and get value out of it. So when we talk about leverage and crisis, how do they meet? So that's the thing. How are you? I hope you guys are doing well, and I hope your businesses are thriving despite the pandemic that's going around the world. Some people, we have to be patient with them because they really don't understand why we're thriving if everyone else is going down the tubes, right? Good morning, Jenny. And, how are my muscles, Kim? Sore. Well, that's okay. When you get to 64, it's not like I was when I was 30. I see a difference now. But they don't understand our business. And when I talk about, how does leverage and crisis, how do they meet? Well, for a lot of people, they don't meet. They don't meet. Because, for example, if you're in the travel business right now, how's your business doing? How many travel programs are you selling right now? Lee from Spain, nice to see you. ¿Cómo está? From Barcelona. Anyway, how would your travel business be doing right now? If you have a shop and you sell goods and, just goods out of a shop in town, how's your business doing right now? So we know that the majority of businesses that are your basic brick and mortar traditional businesses are struggling. So how does that work then when leverage and a crisis meet for them? It doesn't meet well at all. How does it meet for network marketing? We're doing very well. People don't understand that. Tatiana, nice to see you. Romel, nice to see you. Austin, my brother, what is up, dude? That's my Kentucky brother. I've been trying to grow a beard like him, but I can't do it. Now, he looks good in a beard. I look very bad in a beard. Anyway, so they don't understand that. How can when I told them, for example, my business, went $9 million up from what it averages over the last 12 months. People are like, what? Well, what kind of business is that? You can call it many things. Of course, we call it network marketing, but for the people who've got, their nervous system is programmed to become nauseated the minute they hear those words, I can just say drop ship marketing, man. That's what I'm in, drop ship marketing. Because our products are made here in the United States, so we don't have to outsource them from China. We're not hurting like a lot of entrepreneurs, people doing the side gig on Amazon, and they can't get stuff right now, they're struggling. But our products are made here, and of course we ship to other countries, like so many of you in your network marketing companies. No doubt most of your companies are here based in the United States, and you can ship to other countries where they in turn, those distribution points can drop ship to people in their respective, in their country there. And so that's how it works. So it's what, it's whatever. The key thing here is to have a crisis and the timing of it to play in your corner and in your best interest. It's going to have to be something that has value. That's it. And your drop ship marketing business can drop ship anywhere in the world if your distribution is set up right. That's the key thing. So no doubt many of you have that. And so people are amazed when they hear you say business couldn't be better. I mean, that sounds it sounds crazy, right? How could business never be better? Because I could say in March, I never saw a month like it in my 21 years since I joined my last company. Never saw a month like that. Crazy. Matter of fact, when they came back and I asked for the numbers at the end of the month, I looked at the numbers and I never saw anything like it. I mean, when I'm approaching $30 million in a month from my home-based business, and I don't see a product go out, I don't see a product consumed. The only thing we get are notifications from the bank that our company just made a deposit. It's been like that for 21 years for me. What about you? I know for you and your different companies that it's the same. It's the same. The key thing here and how we all create wealth and leverage at this time is simply staying focused and not buying into the fear. Don't stay glued to the TV. Don't think that everything's coming to an end. Everything rebounds eventually. Look at China, perfect example. They rebounded quite fine. Apple opened up recently 53 stores there. People are going back to work. Restaurants are open. Cafes are open. And you heard me say this on earlier calls, and it's worth saying and repeating again, and that is that you have a window of time right now. You have in the United States and in many of these countries that you are in, Europe, maybe Australia here, that you have a captured audience. People are home and they have nothing but time. You are home and you have nothing but time. What does that mean? That equates to the greatest opportunity in the history of network marketing, because we have never seen or experienced anything like this in our lifetime. Matter of fact, we'd have to go over 100 years back to the Spanish flu in 1918. The Spanish flu, that's the only thing we can equate it with, and my parents never saw that or experienced it. That kind of a pandemic. So this has been the greatest disruptor. It's disrupting governments, societies, economies, everything. But in all of this, it's like the old saying, never let a crisis go to waste. Never let a crisis go to waste. And then you have the media out there telling the people, your immune systems are weak and you're probably going to get this. And you need to work from home. Okay. I totally agree. Don't you totally agree? And yet, many of you are in wellness companies, for the most part. And if you're not, if you're in skincare, it really doesn't matter. I was on a call with with Ray Higgins at the Top Earner Group. We call it TC, Top Earner Group. And It was even on the call, we talked about the fact that one of the leaders is in travel. Now, I would think if you're in traditional travel, you have a travel agency, you're in trouble, but this is a network marketing company that's in the travel business. How could you be doing good? They're doing good. People are joining because they're interested in a home-based business, and they're planning to go to some great places once all this is over. So the thing is, but for the most part, many of you are wellness companies. So the media is educating people. They're setting the stage for your products, and they're educating them on how or why they need to have a home-based business. So there's never been a better time in the history of network marketing. I say the history, we can go back 60 years or more when network marketing began with Neutralite and then later Amway and companies like that. There's never been a time like this. That's why I'm like, man, make sure you guys get this. Because, you know, the money is in the harvest. We're going in the spring, but in network marketing, this is the fall. This is the time you hustle harder than ever. Because you need to be able to, you can take this crisis and actually help a lot of people. You can help a lot of people and explode your business. So this was meant not to talk so much about that, but it was just on my mind that I would never miss out on a window like this. And if you ever wanted to work a 90-day run, this would be the time to do it, a 90-day run. By the way, somebody asked me about that. Would you explain your 90-day plan? You know, gosh, I can't explain all that now, but you can get it in the book, Reaching the Peak. That's the backward version of it. Reaching the Peak. It's on Amazon. And that's what this says here. This includes the amazing 90-day quick climb plan. That's what that says. I got the 90. In other words, what I did my first 90 days. So I go back 21 years ago, and I lived in an old house that was built in 1860. And I remember the day I got started, and I walked right up into that room and I closed the door, and I didn't own a computer. I had a phone and I had a list, and that was it. I did not leave the driveway. I did not go out and meet anybody. I didn't go out and do any meetings. But I pounded that phone using the current technologies at the time, which was conference calling, a hotline that explained the product that you could call and listen. That's just an audio recording. And in doing that, after 90 days, I had a team of 800 people. 800 people in 90 days. Imagine that, not doing one single meeting. I see people busting their butts and everything, going out and doing meetings. Nothing wrong with doing meetings, but I'm just saying, good grief. I built a huge team without leaving my driveway. Just leveraging on the technologies that were available at the time. What are the technologies that are available at this time? You should be using Zoom. You should be burning Zoom up. If you have something else, use it. But you heard me mention in the past, and I'll mention it again because we got some new people here on the call today. There's a girl downstairs. She's Chinese. She's from China. She lives in China, but she can't get back home, right? And you know where she's from? She's from Wuhan. She's from Wuhan. No, I'm not dead yet. She's been here since January because I met her at a Tony Robbins event, and but she couldn't go back to China because it was so bad, the coronavirus. Now China's fine. Now it's the United States. It's a mess. And so she can't go to the airports to go back home, right? Now, I met her at a Tony Robbins event. We had dinner, a whole group of us, the last night, and she asked me, what do you do? And I said, network marketing, and she'd never been involved and took an interest in it. And I said, well, you can't go back home. You can't go back to your country. What are you going to do? And she said, well, I guess I'll have to find a place to stay here. So guess what she did? I said, I offered her, I said, well, you want to learn about network marketing, what I'm doing. And she said, yeah. I said, so just fly. I'll fly you to my house, and then I'll teach you. And then if you're interested, you can work the company I'm working. So that's what she did. So in 12 days, she built a team of 165 distributors in China because she had a captured audience. So I want to make a parallel to your circumstances and what you can learn from this. She understood that she had a window of time. People were in their homes and they had nothing but time. She was in my home and she had nothing but time. And so that's what she did. And I remember her first Zoom call. She lined up all these beautiful girls from China, from various parts of China. One was a film director. Anyway, and women that have their businesses. Some of them actually were millionaires. But anyway, she put them all on a Zoom. Her first call was 40 leaders. And so she said, okay, I've explained the product. I've explained the plan. I've explained how you get started. And my question now is, are you going to follow me? If you're going to follow me, stay on this call. If you're not, get off the call. I cracked up and laughed. I said, man, that sounds like me 21 years ago. I love it. I love it. That's the voice of a leader right there. And the majority stayed on the call. And, she just did another one. Yeah, we did another one the other day. She had 50 new people on the call. So she's been just banging out these Zoom calls, and she still bangs out the Zoom calls. And, she wants to break a lot of records. And she's new. This is why I tell you people, you don't have to have experience in network marketing to succeed. You have to have heart. You have to want it bad enough. And that's why I'm talking about, when you look at where we are and how do you leverage on a crisis, think about it. We've never had a window like this before in the history of network marketing. And there's a lot of people in network marketing that are just, they're on the same speed that they were on before when they, before this crisis came, before this pandemic came. And I'm like, okay, well, see, that hasn't gotten you anywhere yet. The kind of speeds that we need to have are two different speeds, fast and faster. And that's the way I think. That's the way I always think. But it was great to meet a girl who's 33 years old that thought the same, because she gets it. And so she took advantage of that window of time. And now, of course, they're not always home, and they don't have always an abundance of time, but her team is now growing because she took advantage of that window. The key thing here is, how long will you have that window? In different countries, it'll be different time frames, right? So feel free to shoot out a question if you got this morning, a Q&A. Let's talk to Lisa, I think, Abayez. Are you present in the room? She was asking a question. A lot of people sound desperate and interested on our home-based business. And they actually have been thinking on having one, but they just say, let me think about it and look into it. How to keep the conversation going and close the deal without sounding pushy. Okay. Hey, Mindy, good morning. You're a sweetheart. Yellow from Northeast India, nice to see you. I'm going to say something about this woman that just signed on, because a lot of us, we live in these, it's easy access here if you're in the United States or Europe, in many of the places that you are. But that Yellow, she's an amazing leader. I have to, because I'll forget if I don't talk about it now. But she actually lives in the Northeast India. So, can you believe that? I'll let my wife deal with that. Hey, honey, turn off the alarm. Well, looks like she got it. Now I'm deaf. Oh my gosh. What does Ray say? Move forward imperfectly? But I was talking about, what? Yedalai, Northeast India. Okay. So, right on the, I don't know, part of their country borders on Cambodia and Thailand. Anyway, but she's an amazing person. And you know what? Because they have a lockdown in their area too. And and you have to understand how, you know how this woman builds her business? She's amazing. She goes door to door, knocks on the door to talk to the people about her health product. That's what she does. She's like a freaking missionary. I'm serious. Could you imagine going out door to door with a bag of products, and that's how you build your business? And then they have their meetings too. But I applaud anybody that has that much determination and heart, and you do it differently in different places of the world, don't you? So I want to commend her on that. She's an incredible person. That takes a lot of courage. So going back to Lisa's question, when somebody says they're going to think about it, there's a couple of ways you could handle that. It just depends. You could say, sure, think about it. But if you don't mind me asking, what are the questions you have that you need to think about? Because it might be one I can help you with. But if you're not interested too, it's okay. I think it's important to set that up in the very beginning, is let a person know that what you're involved in is something that you love, but it may not be for them. And so no is perfectly fine and acceptable. Because then you need to know, are you wasting your time or is there some interest? And some people, because they've traded time for money for so long, they're a little bit confused about a home-based business. Because think about it, if you're selling hammers, how are you going to do that with a home-based business? Yeah, it's whatever you sell. I mean, it comes down to money, doesn't it? The transaction. And some are confused that they think is inventory involved. And then how much inventory would be involved? Would they be involved in shipping? Things like that. They don't want to go down to a post office and be exposed to coronavirus. Or go to the FedEx, to the FedEx store. So the thing about it is, I think it's good just to ask them, say, sure, you can think about it. Absolutely. But let me ask you this, just curious though, what are some of your thoughts right now? What are some of the questions that's going on in your mind? Just get them to open up without, and you do it in a fun way, in a fun, loving way. And then Lisa said, and how do I ask for references? We haven't been successful getting them. I'll tell you what I did many years ago. When people just said, no, I just don't think that's for me, or the timing is really bad. And, sometimes I'll ask them, I'll say, is the timing bad, or is this just not right for you? And they say, well, really, the timing's bad. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, sure, absolutely, Lisa. Hey, Lisa, why don't I offer you this? While you're busy doing that and we can regroup, okay? Think of some people that you know that are influencers, movers and shakers that you respect or might have been involved in something like this. People that are just sort of, they're the kind of people that create magic, when they ask people to do something, people are willing to do it. Can you think of some people like that? Yeah? Listen, why don't we do this? Share their name and phone number, and if it's okay with you, I'll say that you thought so highly of them that you wanted me to call them and run this by them. And again, it may or may not be for them. I'll let them know right up front. But if they say, hey, I'm interested, and then they say, hey, I'm with you, I'm joining, then I'm going to call you back, Lisa, and give you the opportunity to sponsor them or enroll them. Didn't cost you any time. How's that sound? Okay. I got that response so many times from people. Okay. And why not? Because I couldn't tell you, friends, how many people have led me to some superstars that I brought in the business over the last few decades. Superstars. I'm serious. I just did it yesterday. I talked to a Chinese woman in Florida, and that's what I said. I said, listen, come on, you know some great people. Why don't you lead me to some people, connect me to them, whatever. I'll be glad to support and help you. She reached out to one woman that's on Tony Robbins' Platinum team. And, you know, she's in British Columbia. Guess what? She's quarantined, got nothing to do, got nothing but time. I'll talk to her later today. I'm just saying, friends, I've never changed in the things that I do because they work. They work. But we complicate this because we overthink it. Now, Andrina said, let me see, where did she go? She says, I'm out here, Jeff. What are you talking about? She's in Texas. And just a beautiful girl. She's a mother, has children, great husband. Anyway, she says, my warm and hot list has always been skeptics and non-believers in the opportunity and product. What do I do and duplicate when it comes to this list? Well, you know, I asked her to qualify who these people are, and these are people that are her friends, people that she grew up with, people that she goes to church with, and relatives. Boy, it can't be worse than that, can it? You know, what did Jesus said? A prophet is never honored in his own home territory. There's a lot of truth to that. And that's the problem you're in, right? But here's the thing. If they're really true friends, and hopefully you got some in there that really are, and then I looked at, of course, I know what company she's in, so that's a health and wellness company, and yes, they do have an immune system product. So here's the thing that I would do is, and this goes with another person's question too, so I'm going to throw that in here. And that had to do with, where did he go? It went, okay, I printed this on paper so that way it'd be easy to find. Now I can't find it. He asked, when is it time, is there a time to talk about your product? Because we're always being told, as he says, just talk about your opportunity or talk about things that give value, but don't say what you do. Is there a time to say what you do? Is that okay? Or does that not duplicate? I think there is a time. And so if your product gives value to the crisis, the pandemic that people are going through, I would talk about your product. Because this is a game changer, and this, like I said, we've never experienced anything like this. So things change. The way we do things sometimes changes. So I think it's fine to do that. And Andrina, I would talk to them about the product, and even if they're skeptics about your product, because I think you said that. But I think it's totally appropriate to talk about your product. I think all of you, if you have a great product in the area of wellness, talk about it. But at the same time, here's what I want to suggest that you do. Because these are friends, these are people that you know. Ask them to support you. Say, you know what? I really believe in my product. It really gives value to people going through this pandemic. But I need your support. I know this business isn't for you. I get that. But there are people out there. What's that, honey? Security. Just tell them we're fine.
But they want to talk to you.
Okay. 1 second. Hello? Yeah, we're perfectly fine. Okay, well, thank you. Thank you. Now, my wife knows English. I don't know why I had to talk to the sheriff's department. Isn't that interesting? Move forward imperfectly. So again, Ask your friends to support you. Say, listen, I really believe in my product, my company, and I want to get my business going. I really wish that you would work this from home too. You can make some money. We could do it together. We could have fun. We could have fun and make a lot of money because I'm involved in drop ship marketing. If people have a home address, we can get the product to them and we can show them how to build an income as well. I'd like to help you build a team and create some residual income. That's the other thing, friends, that people need to understand. We're not just talking about working from home. We're talking about residual income, not trading time for money. I'm not trying to sell something and just ship it to them or have it shipped to them and make a commission. I want to teach people how to earn residual income so when they're not working, they're actually making more money. So that's what I would do, Andrina. And now here's something else too that you could do. And that is, let's just say that, now that's the local security people now coming to the door. So, man, I tell you, this is crazy. Well, this is a crazy time. What can I say? More craziness. Okay, so it's Saturday morning. What the heck? You know, I'm glad I had some coffee. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So, I mean, that's the way I would handle it. But here's the other thing I was going to suggest to you, that one of the platforms that has not worked so much is LinkedIn. It's a hobby to me now. But I've actually worked with an agency to sharpen my skills on LinkedIn because that's what they do. It's a professional platform, so the kind of people that go to it are professionals, right? So that's another thing that I would suggest that you do. You could reach out to me. I'd be glad to help you with that. And any of you could do that. I could help you as well, anybody who has interest in that. But I'm just saying, if your friends are not willing to support your business, go connect and create a whole new circle of friends. And that's what I'm saying. You could do that even through, of course, you can do it through Facebook, but there's so much, so much traffic and noise that I don't know. I guess that was why I decided to look at LinkedIn and try to get, it's amazing how many people don't engage in that platform because it's different. It requires, there's a learning curve to it, but it's not too bad. Okay, so let's go on to Daniel. Daniel says, driving with the product or the opportunity. Oh yeah, so it was Daniel that's right, it was there. So again, can you drive differently in certain times, and does that affect duplication? It doesn't affect duplication because this is probably the time to talk about your product. If you're in a wellness company and it gives value to people who want to up their immune IQ, let's just say it that way, and you have products that, will help with that, then I would definitely be talking about my products. But keep in mind, just don't make any health claims on your Facebook profile pages because you can, get your company in trouble. So again, you can mumble. You can talk about about the importance of immunity without even using trademark names or your company. But you can mumble, hey, I don't know if you're concerned about your own health, your own immune, how strong your immune system is. I finally found a product that's given me the results I need. So if you haven't found a product like that, just reach out to me. And oh, by the way, this is a salad I'm making today. I want to talk to you about what I have in this salad. That's called mumbling. So you do a Facebook Live, you are talking about your salad. What should you put in your bowl? Ask me what's in my bowl. And then right in the middle of it, you start talking about the immune system and immunity and the importance of upping it in case they were exposed, right? And oh, by the way, if you haven't found what you're looking for, reach out to me. And then you go back talking about the salad. That way it doesn't sound like a commercial, right? That's called mumbling. Anyway, so let's see, and then we have Peter, how to help managers to change their opinion about entrepreneurs. I think, or rather, I talk to a lot of traditional company business people these days, but they fear to be open to what we do. Well, of course they would. They would. A lot of people are afraid of the unknown because they're so used to the traditional way of making money, trading time for money, and linear income as we call it. And the idea of going to and changing to to going and working from home frightens them, sure. So we can be empathetic with them, because nobody really likes, we like things that are predictable, don't we? All of us are that way. That's just human nature. We want things to be predictable. That's one of the needs, one of the top 10 needs that Tony Robbins talks about. One is certainty. Certainty. Now, how many people out there today have certainty? Very few. What's going on now is uncertainty. Uncertainty in the stock market, uncertainty in the economies around the world, uncertainty as far as maybe security and safety. I mean, look at this. I got the sheriff department, and then now I got local security at my door. Good grief. Crazy stuff. Anyway, so, and because of that, so when we talk to them about our business, then again, more uncertainty. So how do we, so I think, Peter, what I would do is move them toward more certainty, because societies and how we make money has constantly changed. You could say, hey, think about it. 100 years ago, how did people make money? What did they do? Look how much that has changed. Or do you think it has changed? And well, yeah, sure, it's changed. In what ways do you think? Well, because blah, blah, blah. Do you think that we're going through change right now? Yeah. I mean, I don't have a job right now. Okay. Do you think that might move you to something different and better? Different means you'd have to understand what it is and how to use it, how to work it. Would you be willing to do that? Here's the other thing too. And instead of just changing time for money, if it was something that was residual, so that when you were doing other things, you were still earning, would that appeal to you? You could also reason on the fact that you can only trade time for money for so long, and then age catches up. And if we think about, and here's the thing, when we talk to people, don't be in the first person sense. Be it your problem. Be it your problem. Say, you know what, John, here's what I don't know about you. But maybe you can relate to this, but I just realized that I've worked for many years now. I don't have that much saved. And now that we've gone into this situation, there's not a lot in savings. And I don't know how long we're going to be here. But when I think about the future, when I do retire, I don't think I'll have that much left. I don't know what kind of quality life I'll have, or I'll just get by. But I didn't want to just get by. I didn't want that for my family either. How do you feel about that? It's always good to ask viewpoint questions to prospects, because and then you don't say nothing after that. You just be quiet and listen to them. And then say, well, yeah, me too. Oh, really? Yeah. And then let them talk it out. And then say, well, I don't know that this would be a fit for you, but this is what I found as a solution to this. And it's worked for others too. And I'm working with some people who've done very well with it. If you're open and you could give me some of your time, I would like to explain it to you. Could I get that time? Then I got nothing but time. Now, Peter, I'm not saying everybody's going to be like that. They're not. Not everybody says yes, right? Not everybody has to say yes. This is the thing that all of us need to keep in mind. You don't need an army. You just need enough people to say yes, and that's only a few, just a few to say yes. The few become many. The few become many. You want to earn a six-figure income, get 12 drivers. You want to become a millionaire, get 24 in your team. You don't have to enroll 24. I'm just saying, I mean, I've got 3 legs. That's all I've got, 3 teams. It's been that way for 21 years. But in that 3 teams, you know, I've got probably, I mean, hundreds of drivers now, hundreds. But if you want to be a millionaire, just get 24. Create 24. You want to get it to 6-figure, create 12 drivers. Good people know good people who know good people who know good people. Birds of a feather flock together, right? And then, so that's the thing that I would recommend is you're only looking for a few anyway. And let's see, did I cover that and here's the thing I want you guys to do. Don't make it sound like you got all the time in the world. Even though you're home, maybe it's a self-quarantine situation and you might be home, you are the busiest person on the planet Earth. You're busier than Jeff Gilbert's. You're so busy you don't have time to pee. See, the thing about it is, if you're also available to your prospects, they're going to think you got nothing going on. So when you want to get back to people who have not responded to you in the way that you want, when you get back with them, just apologize that you've just been so busy. You've been so busy, and I have no doubt that you are, so it won't be a lie, okay? That's right, Andrina, she gets that. So you are so busy. And, hey, Nancy, good morning. So what I do is I'll call them up. I'll say, hey, Debbie. Hey, and now that's if I got her on the phone. But if I don't get her on the phone, I'm going to leave her a voice message, okay? Because she might be avoiding my calls. How dare her? Anyway, so I'd say, hey, Debbie. Hey, this is Jeff. Hey, I've been meaning to get back with you. I apologize. I've been so busy. My business is growing so fast right now. And I'm so excited about what's going on, but I didn't want to forget you. I mean, I really enjoyed our last conversation. I really did. But I apologize because it just, the growth that we're having is incredible. So now that I've got some time, if you got a moment now that we can just continue on our conversation, I've got a little time right now. I got to jump on a call in about 10 minutes. 10 minutes. So I've got that 10 minutes that we could talk. Is this a good time? What does that do when you set it up that way? Number one, you are in demand. You are not cheap goods. You have value because other people want you. In 10 minutes, my gosh, somebody wants you. You got to be on a call. You might even say, I got to get on a Zoom call with a group of people. Oh my gosh, you're a freaking rock star. All kinds of people want to talk to you in 10 minutes. Okay, you have to stage it that way. It's very important. Otherwise, you're cheap goods. And they think this opportunity will be just as good a year from now as today. I don't want them thinking it's going to be just as good a year from now as today. It's like finding stock that's about to explode, okay? And I'm letting you know about it. This is an opportunity that won't come again. I can remember I had this conversation one time, and anyway, recently we did a Zoom call on this. Tony Robbins, one of his main leaders that he uses. Anyway, he asked me this question on a Zoom call: how do you move somebody to a decision? And that is, sometimes we want to dangle the shiny objects, the $1 million house, the Ferrari in the driveway, things like that. I find that never works. I just don't. People are more motivated by the fear of loss than those shiny objects and what they'll gain. They're more worried about what they're going to lose than what they're going to get out of it. So I can remember going back many years ago to Singapore. I had one of my frontline leaders in Canada. I said, come on, Linda, who do you know? You know a lot of good people. Well, I know so-and-so, but I already talked to her. She's not interested. She lives in Singapore. Well, I said, give me her name and phone number. So I called her up. I said, hey, we got this mutual friend and all that. And I know she talked to you about this, and I understand you're not interested. Totally cool. But I'm going to be in your city soon, and I'd like to have lunch with you. I'd like to meet you. She said some awesome things about you. And I am going to tell you about what we're doing, and if you're still not interested, that's fine. We'll just be friends. How about that? She said, okay. And then when I flew over there and sat down and had lunch, and she's a type A personality. This she's a battleship. And, defenses are up and everything. And I know, and I'm familiar with her company, and I also knew they weren't doing that good. But I didn't tell her that. But here's how I ended the conversation. When she says, our company has this. I said, yeah. I said, but you know what, Sherry? You know how many companies out there are selling those same products? And if I were to walk around Singapore right now and all these health stores that sell health products, they're selling those products too. So what you're selling is a commodity. Now here we have a product that will be in every household in the next few years. My only question to you is, what percentage of the market do you want? And I didn't say another word. I just looked at her with serious eyes. I said, what percentage of the market do you want? And she looked at me and she said, yeah, you're right. Okay, I'm in. I said, good. Then I called the woman back in Canada. I said, what's your ID number? Done. Fear of loss. I could dangle the shiny object. Look at the Ferrari. Look at the $1 million house, That's not what motivates people. What motivates people is what they're losing, not what they're gaining. So many networkers just want to talk about the houses, the cars, and all that. Doesn't work. People have heard it, man. They've heard it. What moves them, like Tony Robbins teaches, is pain. What am I going to lose? Oh my God. I'm going to lose that? Somebody else is going to get it? The heck with that. I'm going to get it. Good psychology. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to go to George has posted some of these questions, and let me see, and I'm going to take a look at that right now. So George says, Esther from Japan asks a question, can someone in bankruptcy do the business? Yes. Esther, do you know my story? 27 years ago, I was bankrupt. Yes, bankrupt. My two major accounts, I lost them. And so I had no money. And I couldn't go to a bank to get money to start a new business. So I thought, how am I going to get out of this financial hole I'm in? And I thought, the only thing I know is network marketing, because I got friends who went to the top in their companies. And I thought, I just got to find a company and get going. And that's what I did. I sold a junk truck to get started because again, a lot of people say, oh, I don't have money. What does money got to do with it? I had a woman say that to me once. She said, would you pay my way in the business? I said, no. But I don't have any money. What's the problem? I just told you, I don't have any money to get started. But I don't get it. What's the problem? I just told you I don't have any money. I said, no. It's not about money. It's about being resourceful. And then I explained to her, I said, I had to sell a junk truck to get the money to get started. I put $200 into my business. $200 into my business. That's how I got started. It's about desire. It's about how bad you want it. It's not about whether you got money or not. Money's not the issue here. Anyway, so yes, Esther, you can start if you've been bankrupt. And can you work the business under someone else's code if you do not do it directly? Well, no. She's asking, and this goes back to, is it a problem because a person went through bankruptcy? Again, this is not a traditional business that you got to get, that you have to have good credit to join a network marketing company. It's a good question, though. No, it's not a problem, and you don't need to work it under someone else's name. When you launch your network marketing business, I don't believe in partnerships. Forget it. One will always work harder than the other, and then the one that's working the hardest will resent the other. I've seen that over and over again. Partnerships never work. And you sure don't want to work it under someone else's name. They're going to get a nice income, and they're going to say, gee whiz, thank you. I wouldn't do that. Now, here's Annie from the country of Peru asked the question. When you prospect someone and you find out they don't have principles and values, how do you handle the situation? Okay, so when you prospect someone and then you find out they don't have principles and values, how do you handle the situation? Well, see, again, I go back to experience, okay? And I can tell you when I lived on the island of Guam, I lived on the beach. Right down from the beach was one of my downlines. Now, he owned a beach bar, and he had a dance company that taught girls how to do island dancing, right? And so, anyway, he was in my downline through someone else out of Korea. But when we were launching the Philippines and I was going over there, he decided to go too. Long story short, he was so dishonest. The guy was just evil. That's all I can tell you. Because the people that were already signed up in different teams, he was going around, and in this case, it was one woman's team. She lived in the United States, and he was going after her people, promising them things, and they were signing up under different names of different people. And of course, she got mad at me for allowing him to come to the meeting. Well, I didn't know he was such a bad guy. And so I called him up and I told him, I said, listen, can you come over here? Let's just have a talk. And he came over to my house. Like I said, we lived right down the beach from one another. And I said, listen, you can't do this. He says, what do you care? You get paid on it anyway. And I said, I do care because someone I care about is getting paid on that, and you're taking their business away, and you can't do that. It's against our policies. Now, every network marketing company has policies, and this is, I'd say this is a sacred policy most companies have, and that is you can't steal other people's people. That's called cross-sponsoring. And long story short, because I told him I was not going to support him on that. These people will be moved back. And he can't go to any of the meetings that I'm doing over there because it's too upsetting to the leaders now. You know, what he did was he knew some of the people that worked for TSA there on the island of Guam. And every time I flew back into the island, and when I fly back to the island, usually it's late at night, and usually it's around 11, 12 o'clock at night, maybe 1 in the morning. Every time. TSA, he had it where I was flagged. When they scanned my passport, they'd say, we need to see all your things, so you'll have to wait. Somebody's going to come over here. You need to get your luggage. You need to go through everything. And it was like that. Every time I finally got mad, and I really got loud when I got fed up. And I said, I want to know why I'm being targeted. This has happened too many times. And then, of course, I did find out it was him. So there's a price for integrity. But don't feel, so going back to your question. So how do you deal with someone like that? I'm going to tell you right now, you don't want that person in your business because integrity and character is everything in this business. Because once you lose that, you lose influence, and which is what this guy did. Now he's got zero influence. And the existing team he had on the island of Guam, just because of my stand against him, he bring all that negativity, create lies and stories and things like that. And it's like inviting poison into your other teams. But having said that, Annie, if they know good people and they want to refer you to some good people, it's worth doing that. But principles and values are everything. Now, from the country of Mexico, Rulo, how do you say that? Rulo. How do you talk to a referral who has had a bad experience in another network marketing company? Okay. What I like to do in those situations, if they're negative about a previous company they've been in, instead of trying to talk about how great your company is, go ahead and let them open up about it. And the way that I would handle that person is, wow, I'm sorry to hear that. Tell me about it. You're like, hey, man, Jeff, we're not supposed to be listening to negative stuff. Right? No. He's got negative stuff in him that you need to get out of his head, okay? If possible, okay? So that's how I handle that is, oh, yeah, really? Oh, that's too bad. Tell me about it. Because sometimes it didn't have anything to do with the company. The company was probably a good company. Sometimes it had something to do with maybe a scrupulous, unethical upline person did something. Okay, well, that didn't have anything to do with network marketing and the company. Things like that. You got to get the facts. So if they say, well, and sometimes the negative experience was, well, I spent $300 and I bought these products and yeah, and it didn't work out. Get into it more. Oh, really? Wow. So why is that? Why didn't it work out? Well, I didn't make any money. Okay. Did you, how much time did you put into it? Well, I mean, I didn't, I threw it at a few people, mentioned it to a few people, but I really didn't have a lot of time because I got a job. Oh, okay. Job, family, things to do. Oh, okay. So let me ask you, John, was it the opportunity that failed or the fact that you just didn't have enough time? Well, yeah, sure. I didn't have enough time. Oh, okay. No, that's good. Man, I like the fact that you're honest, man. That says a lot about you. Let me ask you this, John. How's your time looking now? Well, I'm home and I got nothing but time. Okay. So now that you got time, I would like to talk to you about this. And it may or may not be a fit for you, but if it is and you got time, I'd love to run with you. We'd have some fun, make some money together. You've got to get into their head and find out what went wrong. And if it was, well, there was a guy that in my upline, the guy that sponsored me promised me he was going to do this for me, do that for me. He didn't do it. Oh, that's too bad. He shouldn't have done that. Certainly he should have supported you, but to promise you that he was going to build a business for you, think about it. Does anything in life work that way, John? It really doesn't. It really comes down to the individual. They're responsible for their own business. If they're going to make money, they got to put time into it. What do you think? You got to ask the questions. You got to get the ball rolling. You got to find out what was the experience. And so if you do that and say, well, gee whiz, you know what? Let me tell you about what we're experiencing over here. And this is what we're experiencing. Again, acknowledge what he went through, reason with him, find out the real truth, and the real truth probably had more to do with him than it did the company he was in. And even if it was a company that failed, in my case, I can say I went through 10 companies. I would say 8 of them failed. They went out of business. So the reality is traditional businesses generally go out of business after they launch. 80% are gone within a few years. I could say that to that person. You know, most traditional businesses that launch fail. And what I found, John, is that I simply got to get better at picking the right one. And here's what I've learned, John. Here's what I learned. Who are the company owners? Do a little homework. Find out who they are, what they've done. Have they ever been sued? Do they owe money to anybody? Did they have a previous company that failed? Find out something about them. And if you don't find any dirt on these people, that's a good thing. Second, the product. Is the product a commodity? Can you find it anywhere, everywhere? Or is it unique? Do they have a niche market? Is there real value there so that you'll be getting paid residual income for many, many years? Third, compensation plan. Find out how much they're going to pay you. So that is it the kind of plan that is good for the few or good for the many? And then fourth, team support. Are they progressive? Do they have online tools? Do they have just the tools to equip you with? The support that you need so that you and your team will have that kind of support to guide you through the years. Is that in place? Those are the 4 wheels on a car, basically, I call it. The 4 wheels on a car. You blow one out, it's not going to work. You blow 2 out, forget it. I've done that with people. I've talked to people when they want to talk to me about this great ground floor opportunity. I'm going to tell you, friends, most ground floor opportunities, the majority I've ever been in, never get off the ground. Those ground floor opportunities never get off the ground. I've been a top pin in companies that don't exist anymore. What good is it? So when somebody talks about, you know, that I was in one of those and it didn't work out, then I say, you know what? I've been through that as well. You know what I learned? It was a thing that I just didn't have the experience to judge a good company. But now I've got good at knowing to look for. So share what they should be looking for. Share those 4 principles. And then say, based on these 4, this company fits all 4. That is, owners, product, compensation plan, and the support. It's all in place. And I don't know, John, that this would be a fit for you, but I'd like to share it with you. Will you give me a few minutes? I find that works. So how's everybody doing? And then here, okay. All right, so I think that's about it, guys. So listen, window of time. You got a window of time in countries that you're in where people are self-quarantined and they have nothing but time. This has never been. We've never had something like this before. What will you do with it? How will your life change? How will you impact other people's lives? Impact before income, right? You want a massive income? Have a massive impact on the people that you are around, the people that you can reach out to. This is your time. This will never come again. It didn't even come in my parents' lifetime. So leverage and crisis, how do they meet? In network marketing, they meet perfectly. In traditional business, not good. But this is your time to leverage on this. And Julie from the UK, nice to see you. This is your time to be able to leverage on this and do so well. Now, I read an article that Google always, puts out all these negative network marketing articles. And anyway, but that's what they were saying. Network marketing companies are taking advantage of the coronavirus. No, we're not. We're not doing that. The fact is, the media, and including Google, who promotes the media, tells us that people's immune systems are weak and they'll probably get this virus. Second thing, you need to work from home. And we fill both needs. We really do. We fill both needs. So that's a service. That's a service that we're giving people. A great service at that. So we're actually becoming a very valued member of the human race. And in the countries that you live in, you're incredibly valuable. So again, treat your time as valuable too. And when you prospect, use the psychology I talked about earlier, that you're in demand, man, but you're not saying, hey, I'm in demand, it's not that, okay? It's, you let them know, hey, I got to get on a call in 10 minutes. I apologize not getting back with you any sooner than I have. You know what I mean? Great psychology. It works. And it should be that way. It should be that way. Think about it. Here's something I want you to think about. Okay? I did a live years ago on this. If you want to get to $10,000 a month, then quit treating your time as if you're worth $10 an hour. And that is based on, let's say you work this 40 hours a week. I don't have the math in front of me, but think about that. What does that equate to? Whatever income you want to earn, whether it's $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month, 50, 100, if you want to be a seven-figure earner, divide that 40 hours into that time, and then that's what you're getting paid for per hour. That's what you got. Divide that 40, whatever amount you want to earn, that's what your time is worth. You have to start treating your time that way. If you want to earn, my lips are getting dry. If you want to earn that money, that kind of money, treat your time that way. Now, so that means when my wife says, hey, can you go out and cut the grass? I'm thinking, what? How much would that cost me? That would take an hour. How much would that? No, I could hire somebody and get it done far more cheaper. I'm not going to cut the grass. I'm going to stay focused on my business. Of course, now we're in self-quarantine, right? So, no problem. We have nothing but time. But treat your time to that value, to that monetary value, because some of you are in different countries. Good morning, Arthur. He didn't even say good morning back. Okay, I'm going to go talk to him about that. Anyway, but treat your time with that value. So like Julie, if you live in the UK and you get paid in, what is it, pounds over there? Okay, whatever that value is per hour, just divide 40 hours. You could work more than 40 though. Probably should with this window of time. But 40 into that figure that you want to earn every month. Figure that hour value out. Treat your time that way. And then when you prospect people, then use that psychology. Hey, I really want to apologize. I've been so busy that I haven't been able to get back to you sooner than I have right now. I got to get on a call in 10 minutes, but I was thinking about you, and I really enjoyed our last conversation. You just keep it upbeat and positive. But what you're doing, you're coming across with the right kind of posture, and you're going to be respected. But if it's a thing that we call them and we got nothing but time, and hey, how you doing? Yeah, I've been out cutting the grass and all that, because we're here all the time now. And gee whiz, did you get a chance to look at that video? They will never respect you. They will never respect that. That's coming across so weak. It's like you're begging them. And I know nobody on this call would do that. People in your downline would. But it comes across as begging. You're not beggars. You're kings and queens, okay? And I don't mean that in an ego sense. I'm saying, but you do need some self-respect here. So take that 40 hours, divide it into what you really want to make, what you want to earn in network marketing. If you want to be a 6-figure a month earner, then divide it out. That is your value per hour. Then ask yourself, are you treating your time that way? Anyway, everyone, have a great weekend. And, Tanya says it's too early for Arthur. Let me see, what time did this kid get up? 11:17? 11 o'clock? Okay. That meant I was a bad father, and he was playing video games late at night when I went to sleep. So I'll have to work on that. Okay. Don, thank you. Very nice. Nice to see you on the call. Nice to see you and Judy and all of you guys, all of you on this wonderful Saturday. Take some time to, if you can. Now, if you're in Asia, it's nighttime. I get that. In the UK, you're 5 hours ahead. Still, time is good, right? You got lots of daytime left. If you can go for walks, do something physical. Tony Robbins teaches about how physiology impacts our mind and emotions, okay? So get your body in motion, do some exercise, stay safe, but just find some things that you can be grateful for. That's something we're doing every night around the dinner table. Each family member is saying something that they're grateful for, that we have been grateful for that day. We did that last night. I was grateful for this. I was grateful for that. And so find those things that you can share with your family. Build the right kind of mindset in your family. Keep everybody positive. Like I said, this is a time of great opportunity for you. Let's focus on all the blessings that we have. Be a great impact to your community. Be a great impact to people that you reach out to prospect. Be a great impact to your family, to your children. We can't train strangers before we can train ourselves and train our children, right? We bring the same values to strangers. So if we're good in this area, we're going to be great in that area. So let's all work on that. I hope you're doing well. And thank you, Mindy. Everyone, Ciro, everyone, have a great day. All of you guys, love you. Bye-bye.